Today I have a fun concept build for you. Let's build a Werebear. Now when I think about a Werebear, I think about, a kind of humanoid type bear creature that is absolutely powerful, is ridiculously hard to take down, and is just a freaking menace. So what's clear to me when creating this build is that we're going to be going into Moon Druid. Moon Druid lets us wild shape, so we get to become very Werebear-like naturally, and then we want to mix it with a multiclass. And a multiclass that actually stands out for me for this is the Long Death Monk. Monks actually do a ton for wild shaping druids, but on top of that, we're going to get some extra bonuses from being the Long Death Monk, so that'll be a lot of fun to explore. Now the Mountain Dwarf actually combines these two quite nice. The +2/+2 is absolutely fantastic for monks, and because we need fewer stats than normal by being a Moon Druid, we can focus more on our very, very important stats. For example, we're going to want that +2 in Wisdom, and we're going to want that +2 in Constitution. But we're going to want to make sure our Constitution is an odd number because we are going to be taking a Constitution half feat. As for our leveling structure, we're going to go our first 2 levels into Moon Druid because those levels are freaking OP. Then we're going to go our next 6 into the Monk, and finally we're going to finish off by going the rest into Moon Druid. As I said, those first 2 levels of Moon Druid are just powerhouse levels. It easily puts us through level 6 without any struggles. Just 2 levels really makes us as powerful as most 5th level characters, and they start kind of surpassing us at 6, but we're ridiculous. Our main fighting style is going to be casting our fight winning spell, probably Entangle because it's insane, and then wild shaping into our bear form and just going ham. We also get proficiency in Wisdom saving throws and have great Wisdom, so that's not going to be a problem for us. With our 3rd level, we go into Monk. Monk is going to give us the unarmored defense style, which carries over to our wild shapes. So now we get to add our Wisdom modifier to our AC of every single wild shape we do. And considering we're investing heavily in our Wisdom modifier as early as possible outside of our half feat, that's going to be a great boost to our AC. And that's one of the main problems of wild shape is that they just have low AC. Well, we're largely going to be taking care of that, going into more of a mid-level AC, which is fantastic. At Monk level 2, we pick up our key. Flurry of Blows is a lot of fun when you're wild shaped. You get to do your normal attacks and then you get to follow up with a Flurry of Blows. And because we're, crazy at level 2 and already have essentially a multi-attack, we're getting 4 attacks at level 4, which is just kind of absurd. Though we won't be able to do it super often, so I wouldn't say it's breaking the game by any means. Monk 3, we're going Way of the Long Death Monk, and right off the gate, we're just going to have the ability every time we kill someone, we get some more temporary HP, making ourselves more tanky. At Monk 4, we're picking up the Dwarven Fortitude feat. Not only is this going to round out our Constitution, but it actually has amazing synergy with this build. One is that we can patient defense with our key points, so we can use a bonus action to take the dodge action to proc using one of our hit die to heal. But what's even neater is that when you transform in your wild shape form, you actually take on your wild shape's hit dice. So you're not even using your own hit dice anymore, you're using your wild shape's hit dice. So that can be more or less, and it probably isn't coming from your monk pool. So that's just a huge amount of healing that we can use as an action, heal from a pool that we don't even need to pull from, so once we go back into our dwarf form, we still have it. So it's a ton of healing, and this is rules as written. I know this is one of those things that's like, this is going to be very DM dependent. This whole build is going to be DM dependent because we're a wild shaping druid. Those always are, but technically as written, yeah, you should be able to pull from that pool of healing, which is just cool synergy. How often is Dwarven Fortitude really shining? Here it is. Monk 5, we get extra attack, which may or may not come into play depending on your wild shape. Considering we're probably going into bear, probably won't do anything for us. More importantly, at level 5, we get Stunning Strike. Stunning Strike is fantastic with this build because we're investing pretty heavily in our Wisdom. So we're going to have great stuns, and it's awesome that we're a bear that's smacking people and they're getting stunned. That makes tons of sense. That's a big smack. Monk 6 is going to give us Hour of Reaping, which is essentially a action to do an AoE control spell that hits allies and enemies. This is awesome because it's not pulling from our key, and it's going to allow us to take advantage of our bulk. Now, I want you to think about our bulk for a second. We have a ton of HP that when it's gone, we can just wild shape again and get our HP back. We have better than normal AC because of our unarmored defense that's applying to our wild shapes. Then we're often taking the dodge action or a bonus action dodge action to make it even harder to hit us. And on top of that, we're pulling healing as well. All of this tankiness really allows us to be very aggressive with our positioning, which is what Hour of Reaping needs. We need to dive deep into enemy lines in order to not hit our team and hit all of the enemy team. Now, once we're over there, we use Hour of Reaping. It pulls from our wisdom, which is going to be fantastic. Once it hits everybody, they are either going to succeed or fail. If they succeed, you're right in the middle of them. You're going to take some damage. Who cares? You're built for that. And you're tanking for your team anyways. If they fail, then they're all frightened, and you're going to be tanking just by naturally spreading this ability around. But because Hour of Reaping isn't going to allow us to take advantage of Stunning Strike or Flurry of Blows because we're not taking the attack action, this is a really great moment for our bonus action Patient Defense to shine. We get our healing, and we can dodge all those incoming attacks that may or may not be incoming because we're standing in the middle of all of our enemies. What I really like about this build is it combines kind of Flurry of Blow specialization just by the nature of us going to be having a higher than normal strength because we're transformed into a bear. Our Flurry of Blows are more efficient, but on top of that, we get efficient Stunning Strikes because we've invested in our wisdom. Normally, monks have to specialize. This build actually kind of specializes in both naturally as well as the Patient Defense. Now, once we hit level 6 in Monk, we're done with Monk. We're going to be going back into Druid, mainly to get better fight-winning spells. So you can start picking up summons to run around with you. Anything that's really relying on your wisdom and their saving throws can be fantastic. So there's a lot of power we can find here. One of the spells that really stands out to me is Aura Vitality. The idea is that if they're purposely ignoring us, now we can tank for our team by just healing off the damage as we're running around amongst our teammates. So whether they attack us or whether they attack our allies, we are tanking. And that's the concept build for you guys today. What I would love to hear is what you guys would do with your Werebear build. I'm also open to any challenge builds you guys happen to throw my way. I'd love to tackle a fun challenge. But with that, my friends, I hope you have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you then.